I worked full-time as a platinum music producer and stopped to get a job in commercial real estate. For almost 10 years, music was my life. I started producing music back in 2015. At first, it was just a hobby. I spent most of my free time learning everything I could about music production, mixing, and sound design. Pretty quickly, I had another idea. I thought maybe I could turn this hobby into a small side business and use the money to finance the hobby itself. So I started trying to sell beats online. Getting that first sale felt almost impossible. I remember back then I uploaded beats to YouTube almost every single day after day, month after month, year after year. Most videos got barely any views. Most beats never sold. But eventually the consistency started paying off. I slowly started generating income through beat sales and other small online music related businesses. Then in early 2021, I stopped. Not because I hated music, not because I failed, but because I realized I was starting to chase music for financial reasons rather than because I loved making it. So I took a break. A couple of months later, something unexpected happened. I found out that one of my melodies had landed on another Wick album. Suddenly, there was momentum again. And that momentum pulled me back into the music industry further than ever before. This time, I wasn't focused on online beat sales anymore. Instead, I started chasing placements. For those of you who are not familiar with the music industry, a placement basically means getting your music used by an artist on a release. At that time, that felt like the next logical step. So I went all in. I thought I was going to get rich with that. While studying economics at university, I spent almost every day creating loops and melodies. I treated it like a second full-time job to my full-time studies. 1 year later, I got my next placement released. It was an ESCG's album back then. And eventually things started moving. By 2023, I was getting placements almost every single week. I was working with artists I had listened to for years. Artists like Lil Baby, Moneybagg Yo, Sway Lee, the Migos, and many others. I received gold and platinum certifications. For example, now the Wick's album went platinum. I went gold 2 times in Italy. From the outside, it looked like I had made it. And to be fair, many producers dream about reaching exactly that point. For years, it had been my dream as well. But over time, I started noticing a problem. Getting the placement is only half the battle. First, you have to get your music to the artist. And most of the time, you do that through other producers. Then the artist has to pick your beat. Then he has to record the song. Then the label has to approve it. Then the song has to survive the album selection process. Then the album actually has to be released. Every single one of those steps is outside of your control. The deeper I got into the industry, the more I realized how little control I actually had. Even getting paid was often much more difficult than people think. Sometimes songs would come out months later, sometimes years later, sometimes they never came out at all. And eventually I found myself in a strange situation. I was objectively successful. I was making money from music through multiple income streams. I made beat sales online. I got placements, digital products, royalties from the songs that got released. Everything was moving in the right direction, but it still felt wrong. Not because I didn't love music, the problem was that I loved it too much. What I learned from all of this is that there's a difference between loving something and depending on it. The moment your income depends on your passion, your relationship with it changes. Every decision becomes connected to money, every project becomes connected to outcomes, every creative choice becomes connected to expectations. The pressure changes. And for me, that pressure slowly started taking away what I loved most about music. I know it's different for everybody, but at the same time, I started looking at the economies of the industry. The truth is that very few people make meaningful money from music. The odds are incredibly low, even among successful producers and artists. That realization forced me to think differently about my future. Not because music had failed, but because I wanted stability. I wanted control. I wanted to build a system around my life instead of depending on one unpredictable industry. That decision eventually led me into commercial real estate, and that is where I still work today. Looking back, it was one of the best decisions I have ever made, because suddenly I had 2 income streams. My royalties continued to come in, my salary continued to grow, and for the first time, I was able to consistently save and invest significant amounts of money. That combination is ultimately what helped me to build the situation I am in today. The 100K net worth, the stock portfolio, the real estate goals, The financial foundation I'm currently documenting on this channel. Funny thing is that I've never actually stopped making music. I still make music today. I still sit down with my friends, open up a project, make beats and spend hours working on ideas. The difference is that I no longer need music to pay my bills, and because of that, I probably love making music more today than I ever did before. There's no pressure anymore, no expectations, no release schedules, no financial dependency, just music. It helped me reconnect with the reason I started making music in the first place. I started making it for fun, and I think that lesson applies to a lot more things in life than just music. Sometimes achieving your dream helps you discover what you actually want. And what I wanted was not to depend on music. I wanted freedom. Music just happened to be the thing that helped me find it. And believe it or not, after reaching financial freedom, I will be back composing anthems and soundtracks for movies and advertisements. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for listening.